Hey Lynn, it's Buck. Thanks for your video. I appreciate you sending that to me. Just a couple of things that I want to share with you on your address position is your toe line is pretty far right. If you look at where your aim is to the target line, it's your lower body is pretty closed or right of the target, and your arm plane and shoulder plane is pretty far left of the target. So uh, we want to square your hips and your feet up a little bit. The second thing is that we want to get your spine angle, especially with your driver, more behind the ball. You're too much on top of the ball. So we want to make sure that your spine tilt is slightly more to the right. It would be helpful if you move the ball a little bit more forward as well. Because of your posture and your aim, what happens in your sequence is in your takeaway, the club gets a little bit behind you and shut. You can see how the club gets inside closed. And then what happens is, in your effort to get the club back underneath you, you're kind of stuck or in your own way, mainly because you're set up. When your hips are closed and your spine, shoulders are open, you have to stand up to hit it. You can see that you're standing up through impact. So everything has to move a lot to the left to hit it. Looking at the picture on the right, because of being so much on top of it, you're going to have to drift and sway to the right, and then what you do is you have to drift and sway back forward so your body gets out in front. So you can imagine being an athlete that if you have a bat or a racket and you're getting too far in front, on top of your left leg and your upper body is too far forward, you have to play catch up. So now you have to use your hands a lot to kind of get the club back. It looks like your path has gotten a lot better. You're much shallower coming into impact, but your sequencing is a little bit off because you're set up. So I would spend more time looking at setup, getting spine more back, ball more forward, getting your toe line and your arms and your chest a little bit more square to the target. So that's what I'm seeing. So work on your setup. Let's look at a few models here. Let's see if I can find the tour player here to address with the driver. Sorry, a little slow here. So if you look at, let's see who this is. This is Charles Schwartzel. So if you look at where his ball position is in relationship to his body, he's much more tilted to the right, ball position more forward. So when he turns, he's loading into his right side more behind it to the ball. And you see that with all really good drivers, that they stay a lot more behind it so they can keep the angle to the shaft from behind it so that they can release it. In your case, you get too far forward there. Let's look at another one from behind. Oh, here's a good one. Here's Rory. So if you look at where his ball is in relationship to his body, much more forward. Camera angle's not perfect here, but he stays way more behind the ball. So you can get your arms and club more in front of you so you can release it. You get a little bit too far forward there and you need to be a little bit more behind it. Let's see if we can find a down the line here. This is Ryan Palmer. You can see he's pretty square to his target line here. That's his target line. He's kind of a shut-faced player, but you'll see that his club works a little bit more from out to in and stays behind it. So he can release it out and forward. That's one of the commonalities that we see with great ball strikers. This is, I don't think that's Ryan Palmer, sorry. Sergio. really good example of keeping the club in front of you going back. You don't want to get that club too far inside. So when he changes directions, the club's working more from the inside of the plane. Much more room for him to swing the club away and out. You know, when you get ahead of it, it's really, really hard to do that. Let's see who this is. This is Sean O'Hare, great ball striker. You can see he's set up more behind the ball, as you saw all of the other guys. Sorry. So they're more behind it, turn behind it, stay behind it. Really important to get extension through the ball. If anything, their head's moving slightly backwards in impact so that they can release the club. So really work on your setup first. Get your spine tilt back, ball more forward. Make sure that your aim and your feet and your shoulders and arms are more square. And that's going to help you the most as far as the path to the club and the face so that you can release the club. You just don't have enough room to get your body out of the way when you're close to the target with your feet and so forth. So anyway, good job. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for the video and look forward to seeing you. Take care.